What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about the new exotic grenade launcher, Parasite. I won't really be doing a guide on how to get the gun, but it is an exotic quest on Savathûn's throne world. Once you get the gun, however, this video will explain exactly how it works. So first off, this is a heavy solar grenade launcher that fires an exploding worm. It comes with Volatile Launch and High Explosive Ordnance. It has a perk called Worm Byproduct, which states taking damage from your own worm projectile detonation empowers your weapons for a short time. So how this works is if you damage yourself with the explosion, you will get a 10-second buff that gives all your weapons 15% more damage. You can see my hand cannon goes from hitting 7152 damage to 8225 damage. So kind of a cool perk, albeit a little bit risky. And lastly, it has the perk Composite Stock. For an intrinsic trait, it has Worm's Hunger. This weapon fires hive worms which explode on impact. The size and damage of the explosion scales with the number of enemies you defeated just before firing this weapon. So how this perk works exactly is if you kill a red bar enemy, you'll get 1 stack of Worm's Hunger. But if you kill higher tier targets, then they count for more stacks. So the yellow bar dogs in this lost sector actually give 4 stacks of Worm's Hunger each. And orange bars also give more stacks than red bars. So the maximum amount of stacks you can hold is 20 stacks. And at 20 stacks, we deal 3 times more damage, and it scales linearly all the way up. So at base, it hits for 105,707 damage, 83,681 explosion damage, and 22,026 from a direct hit. At 5 stacks, it hits for 158,500 damage, 125,521 from the explosion, and 32,979 from the direct hit. This is 1.5x damage. At 10 stacks, it hits for 211,292, which is 2x damage. 15 stacks is 264,084, which is 2.5x damage. And lastly, we have 20 stacks, which is 316,877 damage from a single shot. This is 3x damage. So at 5 stacks, it hits for 1.5x more damage. 10 stacks is 2x damage. 15 stacks is 2.5x damage, and lastly 20 stacks is 3x or triple damage. This makes this weapon the king of burst damage. Better than a rocket launcher, better than Fourth Horseman. This weapon absolutely slaps. But how is it for DPS? Well, at base it hits for 105,707 damage, and the base amount of grenades we can hold is 7. This is good for 739,949 damage. Though, if the first shot of the DPS phase were to hit for triple damage, you could crank out 951,363 damage. So I decided to test its DPS. This weapon can fire off 7 shots in 14.167 seconds. That is with a GL loader mod and Lunafaction boots equipped. Because the total damage is 739,949, this gives it a DPS of 52,230. And if the first shot were to deal 3x damage, the 7-shot DPS would be a whopping 67,153 damage. So basically, the longer the damage phase, the worse DPS this weapon will have. But if the new raid has another Atrax type fight where burst DPS is crucial, then this weapon will be a go-to. However, there's a couple things to consider. You have to be pretty close to the target, as this thing is quite hard to shoot. And because it is easy to miss with, you may not always get optimal DPS. But those are the numbers. This weapon can also hold 9 shots with 1 reserve perk and 11 shots with 2 reserves. It won't increase the DPS any, but it will definitely help with the total damage. I also decided to run the 1550 Velis Labyrinth Lost Sector at 1526 power, so I was 24 light levels under requirement and was able to do some pretty big damage to the Barrier Knights. Again, this is not the easiest weapon to shoot, but if you can land your shot, it will do great damage even in content where you are under leveled. Here it is with 20 stacks, leaving a Barrier Knight finishable off of 1 shot. That is simply incredible. You just have to remember that the explosion radius is much higher at 20 stacks, so you can easily blow yourself up. That is pretty much all I have to say about how the gun works. It is super unique, and I think Bungie absolutely killed it with this gun. I don't know how viable it will be in endgame content due to its low reserves and somewhat difficult ease of use. I just feel like a rocket launcher holds similar amounts of ammo but is far more consistent for dealing damage and is much better at long range, which is where you have to play in high-end content. But for burst damage, there is simply nothing better in the game. Shoot one of these at Atrax and launch a Nova Bomb right after and he will be totally deleted. I will leave you with a few more clips of this gun. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Take care, Guardians.